Lamb. So the trailer for Doom 3 just dropped and it is amazing. I've read some reviews, but I'm going to see it here and let's just break it down scene by scene what it is, how the third movie is going to be. And if you have any questions, you can just leave in the comments below. Two people are already watching. I think one is me and another one I think I know who it is, but it's fine. So the trailer just dropped, and I read somewhere that Timothy actually said something about his performance in this movie. So I was quite looking forward for it. So let's see. Also, we have some good stills and Saint Alia of the Knife. I've read it on Reddit actually. Let's see how it is. We'll do a breakdown scene by scene, and I have to maximize myself, I guess, for copyright issues. So I'm doing this for the first time, so it's a bit hard. I have to drag it to a move or something. I think I should be putting my face, my big face here, zero makeup face. Yeah. So, so Timothy actually said that his role in this film is going to be something quite big. So a little fun fact here: they actually have three children, not two. So first one was also a boy whose name was Leto, and I guess we call him Leto. Leto, I don't remember his full name, but he was the first son. So they have a son at this point, at this moment, when this scene is. I think we are going to see all three of their kids. So they have three kids: Leto the first, and then they have the twins. So at this moment, they have Leto the first, and that kid was actually killed during the raid by the Sadaukar. So I think we are going to see all three of the kids. So they this is a very good thing because it's a very big part of the story because that raid is going to be quite big. So I think it's going to be good in that sense. So the fact here is they have three kids and we are going to see all three of them. That is happening here. It's actually called the chant of Lasan al Ghaib, if I'm not wrong. And what's happening here is, if I'm not wrong, I'm not entirely sure, but it's after the jihad that happens for Paul. And at this point in time, I think it's after. So, what happens in the actual story is Alia becomes the regent for Paul. When Paul goes out in the desert after the death of Chani, I should not be giving the spoilers, I guess. But this is the point of this scene. The signet ring is being handed over to Alia because Alia will become the regent for Paul after Paul is gone, and she is actually pre-born, as we know. She's pre-born. So what happened was she was taken over by Baron Harkonnen's ego, and all of that which plays out actually happens. Major events happens during the Children of Dune, so I think they are not going to adapt it, and the movie is going to end here. The trilogy is going to end with Paul moving out and wandering the desert. And there is a line in the trailer as well. I have heard somewhere that there is a line indicating about the fact that Paul actually survives. So we have to see. But this chant they have made, it's so beautiful. I mean, this the audio. I mean, everything about this chant is actually enchanting.
The more I fight, the more our enemies fight back.
Now, this character, he is a very interesting guy. He is a very interesting guy. Uh, for all of those who have not read the books, uh, he is actually the main villain of the story. He is, if I'm not pronouncing it wrong, his name is Skylet, and he is a face dancer. They can change the faces. They're the face dancers, and we have seen the face dancers in Dune Prophecy series. There was a scene in the finale of that series when Valia Harkonnen actually see the face of her brother in one of the face dancers in House Harkonnen's halls, dining halls, and she gets very haywire after watching him. So the same thing is with this, and he is associated with Beni Telilaxu. He This is also a school of just like Benny Gesserit. They also have some special powers, but they are quite disturbing powers. They actually use the bodies of brain dead Benny Gesserits and use them as baby banks. If I'm not, I will make a detailed video about it because there are some terminologies that I cannot remember right now. But this is something happens with Benny Telilaxu. So Jason Momoa is also back, and he is also connected to this Scarlet guy. I'm not pronouncing this Skytail. Sorry, his name is Skytail. SKSCY something. If I'm not pronouncing it wrong, so he is the face dancer. He's associated with Benita Lilaxu, and he is actually a villain. He is a big villain. He's actually the main villain of the story. So in this scene, if we see Jessica's face, I think it tells a lot about what she thinks about Paul at this point of time. Because in the starting, she actually does supports Paul, but as the war grows, the the death count increases, she actually becomes very not so happy about the fact that his son is doing this jihad thing. So I think this actually, the expressions on her face actually gives it that she's not very happy about this whole jihad thing that is happening in name of Paul. And eventually everything goes out of hand of Paul Atreides. And actually this exactly is the point of this franchise, is the too much power in one person's hand, too much faith in just one man would lead to this huge catastrophe that was done. But exactly, this was part of the whole plan, the golden path. I'm not sure if they are going to show the golden path thing in this movie because it's part of Leto the second, who was the son of Chani and Paul. Paul actually does see the golden path, but he opts out of it. Because of this, his son is going to take over. Leto the second is going to take over, and these are not the spoilers because the trilogy is going to end with this movie, Dune Messiah. It's going to end with it. So also, I have to tell you one thing. This series, I mean, this movie is named Dune Part 3, but it should have been named Dune Messiah, doesn't it? But it's fun. I think it's a part of the marketing campaign, so it's easy. Dune 1, 2, 3, rather than just naming it and confusing other people. So this is how it's going to be. But here, the expressions tell a lot. The expression of Jessica says a lot about what she thinks about Paul Atreides. And eventually, she does become the part of the conspiracy to topple his empire. Another spoiler. But we are doing the breakdown. So, yeah, what's wrong in breaking down the trailer? So, all those people who have joined right now, you can like the video and subscribe the channel. It really helps. And the part of world I am in, it's already middle of the night, so I'm just doing it in front of the table lamp. And also, I've been sick for last 1 week. This was the most amazing scene, my favorite scene from Dune. This scene is awesome. She looks like a goddess, Anya Taylor Joy, epic. So, in this book series, in the books, she is called Saint Alia of the Knife. She's called this because during the war of Iraqin, she is actually wandering the war field and killing the Sadaukar and Harkonnen people with the Christ knife. And she's very small. I mean, she's like 4 or 5 years old. She's very small kid. She's very small kid, and she's killing people with a knife. And she actually ends up killing Baron Harkonnen himself. That is why she was called Saint Talia of the Knife. But in this series, she is not born yet. During the War of Arakin, she was not even born. So, what exactly is this scene? There was one scene in the books just before she self harmed herself. She actually comes out of the balcony and people shout Saint Talia of the Knife because she becomes a godlike figure, just like Paul. Paul is God for them, na. So she comes out of the balcony. She does. Everybody is shouting Saint Talia, and she just jumps out. I'm not sure if this is that scene, but if it is, it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to see it on IMAX for sure. This is going to be amazing. But this scene is so beautiful. If I can just zoom it, I can't. I think I cannot zoom it. But it's just such a pretty scene. Amazing, amazing scene. We just we got a very small. I have to see this. This happens because Alia actually takes over as a regent for Paul Atreides after Paul is out of the sight, and people do think that he died, but he is not dead. He comes back as the preacher because we are not going to see in this movie, so I think it's not a spoiler. So what happens is Alia is a regent for Leto the second, and Ganima is still very young. These two are the twins of Paul and Chani, and she takes over the throne. And she actually, after this moment, the you know this person, Hag, what was the name of the fat guy? Baron Harkonnen. Yeah. So Baron becomes so overwhelming, his personality, because she was okay, I have to do it again. So she is a preborn. She have the other memory, but because she was not trained, she has the other memory of male as well as female ancestral memories. She have both of them. She can see the she can actually experience the egos of male as well as female. So if you are a trained Penny Gesserit, then you cannot do it. It's a black, I think they call it the black hole or something. And they do not go for the male egos. They just access the female part of it, not the male part of it. And that was the whole point of Paul Atreides, that he can access both male as well as female ancestral memory, because he was a Kwisatz Haderach. So this was the whole point, and she also have it because we saw it in Dune 2, that I don't have to explain. But all of you who have not seen Dune 2, she was preborn because the ritual of water of life happened to Jessica when she was pregnant with Alia. So she also had that. And she was she was a fetus at that point of time, so there was no ego developed for her. She does not have her own ego, she does not have her own personality. That is why she was a very good vessel for Baron Harkonnen. So that is why she was called the abomination by the Bene Gesserit, and she was treated as one. But one part that people do not get about Alia's character is she does not get the full guidance about how to navigate with this. We can call it a superpower. She does not have any. She does not had a mother growing up. Paul was busy in this conquest. There was no one to train her. She was, she was surrounded by actually enemies, because at that point of time Irulan was also associated with Bene Gesserit, and she was actively trying to give Chani the contraceptives so that she would not have the child of Paul Atreides. The basically she does not want, the Bene Gesserit does not want a Fremen woman to have the DNA. I mean, to the heirs should not have the DNA of a Fremen woman, because the Fremen DNA was not manipulated by them. Bene Gesserit did not manipulated any of them, so it was hard to control if Chani had the heir, because it is going to topple their plan for, you know. So this is the point why she actually agreed with this plan for very long actually, and that actually killed Chani. Those contraceptives made her very fragile, and she had twins. Her last pregnancy was with twins. Paul knew it. He let it happen because he can see the future, and this was the only way to save Chani for a long period of time. And this is not a microphone. This is a microphone. This is not the microphone. I have to buy a microphone, a bigger one. So where I was, I forgot. Let's just complete the trailer first. So Jason Momoa is back, and we have to talk about it also. If we see, his eyes are not human anymore, because he is not a human anymore. He is a gift of Benito Lilacs. He is his name is Hate. He is not Duncan Idaho at this moment. He is Hate, and he is Gola. And the concept of Gola in Dune is the Benito Lilacs. They can create this. They can create a humanoid with a certain memory of the person. They use, I guess, DNA, if I'm not wrong, if I'm remembering it right. They use DNA of a person and create a Gola with the same process I just explained before, with the Benny Gesserit brain dead woman and stuff. So they created this Gola, and he have the eyes of a Gola, and they are very distinct from a real human, because the pupils are very different. If you see, they are gray in color. The pupils, I guess there are three or four pupils, are very different looking. So that's why his eyes look so different here. But what happens with Hate is, uh, first of all, they ambush Paul with him. He was a part of the plan to topple the rule of Paul Atreides. But this does not end up happening because he actually accesses all the memories of Duncan Idaho, and he becomes Duncan at the end with all his memories. So he is not Duncan Idaho. He is Hate, the Gola of Duncan Idaho, who was gifted by Benita Lilacs, the coffin like thing we saw in the beginning. He was a gift to Emperor Paul Atreides from the this group called Beni Lilacs. And we call him Telilaxu as well. So that is why his eyes look so different here. So this is a whole story about this different looking eyes of Jason Momoa, because he's not Duncan Idaho, he's not the human anymore. He is the Gola, basically a clone of a person the Benita Lilacs can make, and they can also manage the amount of memory this man is going to have. So these were the Benita Lilaxus. So they are the main villains of this story. This faction called Benita Lilacs. You can find a video about them in my channel also. I think I have made some shorts about Benita Lilacs. Who are they? Their origins. If I'm not wrong, I did a video about them. So you can just check it out, and it's a very detailed one. And I will make another detailed video tomorrow. But let's just finish the trailer first. It's very, I mean, so I'm not 100% sure about this scene, but I think it is a stone burner. So the stone burner is like a N-word bomb in Dune universe, and it can. I think I have made about the stone burner as well. So this was happened to ambush Paul. Hello, hello, Kevin. If I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. So this happened in the conclusion of Dune Messiah, this stone burner thing. So it happened on Arrakis, and Paul actually lost his eyesight after this attack. And I have made a video about this and how exactly it happens. So it's a very long process. I think I should not do it here, but the trailer is actually crazy. The trailer is actually crazy. The thing that he is insinuating at this point of time, and I mean in this line, is the fact that he is not going to die. He is not going to die in the end of Dune, because in the books he does not die. He becomes the preacher. He comes back as the preacher, and I guess this is the whole point. I'm not sure why they are not doing the whole Children of Dune thing. It should have been so good. Exactly right. These the Lisan Al Gaib chant, it is called, if I'm not wrong, and the whole vibe of this trailer, amazing, amazing. It's actually middle of the night here where I am right now. It's like uh, even early morning we can say. That's why I'm using this torchlight so that my parents will not beat my ass. So this chant thing, I think it is more epic from the Saudakar chant we had in Dune Part 2. I guess Part 2 it was. The That was also crazy though. But this one is better because Timothy's voice is the magic. Amazing voice he have.